Bonjour. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. How are you today? Yeah? Welcome to this third day of the Change Now Summit. Who has been there for 1 day? Raise your hand. Who has been there for 2 days? Raise your hand. 3 days? Whoa, wow. Nice to meet you. We're going to have a good day together with this garden stage today for many pitches sessions today, and we're going to begin with the theme of biodiversity. I'm Rebecca Svedge, and I'm happy to be the maître of ambiance for today. I really believe in the power of community to drive change. That's why I'm here, and that's why I created Girls for Change, which is a community to empower women entrepreneurs. I'm very curious to discover the pitches that we're going to listen to about biodiversity. Why are we talking about biodiversity? Climate change and biodiversity loss are two major challenges that are faced by our planet, right? But actually, biodiversity loss is usually hidden below the crisis, the climate crisis. And we really believe that nature has a central role in the climate change mitigation and adaptation. That's why here at ChangeNOW we believe that the two topics need to be tackled at the same time, like interdependent. That's why we're going to hear 9 solutions today. And with us we have a jury to listen to those pitches and those solutions and ask questions and vote for their coup de cœur of today. Hello, dear jury, how are you? I can't wait to know more about you, so I suggest, do you have a mic? Yeah, wonderful. So let us know who you are in 1 sentence, and you have a camera over here, so you don't need to stand.
Hi everyone, my name is Clara, I'm from Alter Equity. Alter Equity is an impact investment fund which invests only in positive impact for environmental or social companies. We manage today 150 million, and we are raising our third fund to always invest in more impactful companies.
Thank you very much for being here.
Hi, my name is Samuel. I co-founded Terroir d'Avenir, farm to table, farm to restaurant, farm to store, for public and chefs 15 years ago. And now I'm also investors in some impact companies.
Welcome here, Samuel.
Hi, my name is Galit Keenan. I'm lucky enough to be the executive director of the Jane Goodall Institute here in France. We are a community-driven conservation NGO founded by Dr. Jane Goodall.
Thanks for being here.
Hi, good morning. This is Florent Kaiser. I'm co-leading Acción Andina. We're restoring high Andean native forest in South America. And what I care most about are local communities and how they're engaged in the process.
Thank you, Florent.
Good morning. My name is Elise. I'm the founder of Sugi. We create ultra-dense biodiverse forests in cities. So for us, biodiversity, climate resilience, and well-being is key. And also the complexity of planting, matters greatly what we plant where. And we aim for 87% survival rate.
Thank you, Elise.
Hi everyone, my name is Manal. I'm an investor at HV Capital. HV Capital is the largest VC fund that's based out of Germany. We've raised 9 funds. The 9th fund out of which we invest now is 800 million large, that we invest essentially from pre-seed to Series D. We're industry agnostic, looking at everything but having impact in the back of our heads for all kinds of startups. I myself focus on climate-related topics, looking at a lot of carbon markets, energy markets, and also going beyond, looking into biodiversity.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Emmanuelle Béranger. I work at the Rainforest Alliance. most of you hopefully will know, sorry, looking at the camera. I prefer to look at people.
Sure.
All right. The frog logo on some of the products, tea, coffee, cocoa, bananas. So we work on certification, supporting the livelihoods and the productivity of small farmers, and also and mostly reducing and preventing deforestation thanks to that. This is really our model. I personally work more on the forest part, so we work both with farmers but also with forest communities at the landscape level, and we make sure that local communities and indigenous peoples that live in the rainforest can increase their livelihoods while sustainably managing this forest and making sure that they're preserved.
Thank you so much. And as you said, we are happy to have an audience. So thank you for the jury for being here. Thank you to the audience to be here. And we're going to welcome the first 4 pitches about our theme today, biodiversity. The first one is a German company, and Lara is going to pitch. It's a German name, so she's going to explain what it is. Artenglück. Let's welcome Lara.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Laura. I'm CEO and co-founder of Artenglück, which means happy species in German. So it's all about biodiversity, what we do. And you probably remember the newspaper articles where reforestation projects were claimed for carbon credits, and then it turned out that those projects didn't exist. And today we are not only facing climate change and biodiversity crisis, we are also facing a crisis of transparency in those projects, to be honest. And this is causing that we are kind of blocking the conservation goals we want to achieve. And also it creates that companies are really more and more insecure how they can really do corporate responsibility, how they can really do transparent projects. Reforestation in the rainforest is super important, all of us know. At the same time, the nature right in front of your own doorstep also needs help right now. And this is what my co-founder Felix and I did. Because for us, it's very important to face this challenge. And so we started in 2020 to plant flowering meadows on low-yield agricultural land to increase biodiversity and pollination. And since then, we also created different projects. For example, bird protection windows in grain fields, and then also reforestation. What is very important for us is to make it very transparent, obviously. So what we do is we implement those projects in a maximum radius of 30 kilometers around the desired location of our B2B partners who are financing the projects. So far, we do that all over Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. Moreover, we also measure our impact, because also this is so important for the transparency. So we are doing biodiversity monitoring with different researchers that can use different methods. At the same time, we know that the corporates also want to have good CSRD reports, obviously, and also speak about it. So we also support them on those topics. The companies really don't only challenge legal requirements that they need to meet, but their biggest challenge actually is that the consumers and the employees really ask them to be more sustainable. But the problem here is that the companies don't really know anymore how to do it, because there were, unfortunately, some projects that didn't work out. So this is why, with Artenglück, we want to change that and make it easy and accessible for companies to engage in a very transparent and local way. In the last years, we worked together with over 50 big companies in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and we did 74 projects.
Thank you, Lara. Thank you very much. The second project is going to be introduced by Quentin. Let's discover MORFO.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Whoa, a lot of people. I'm Quentin. I'm the communication director at MORFO. These are not my kids. They are my bosses, actually. So Pascal and Hugo were born in French Guyana. As you can see, life was good. I think food was good also. They had a father, and he was a gold miner. And they realized that life was good, but it was difficult, and the forest was shrinking at the same time. In fact, by 2030, 1 billion hectares needs to be restored, 3 times the size of India. What we do with MORFO is that we found a solution to restore at scale. The idea was to try to find a solution to combine traditional technologies, traditional methods, with a new solution to restore forest at scale. Our expertise is to find and to fight against climate change by restoring native forests in tropical areas. How do we do it? We use this tiny technology here, which is called a seed pod. It protects the seed and helps it germinate. We drop them by drone. We don't do it randomly. We use AI and machine learning to define the region where we want to drop it. We also don't do it alone. We do it with local communities. Our projects costs are divided into 3/3. 1/3 goes to science, the second third goes to operation, and the last third goes to the communities. We are now a team of 45 people, a Franco-Brazilian company. And we have 2 business models, one for compliance and one for voluntary. We have 19 projects now in 3 different regions. One is Amazonia, the second one is Matlatica, and the last one is in Africa, in equatorial forests. And let's be clear, just a message to finish. It's not just about planting trees. What we try to do is to restore forest ecosystems, not only planting trees. Thank you very much, and let's grow.
Thank you, Quentin. Let's grow. The third feature is Guillaume. Let's discover the project CARBONABLE.
Hi, everyone. Very happy to be here. So Guillaume, CEO of CARBONABLE, and very happy to present you a CARBONABLE solution that empowers every person and organization to turn environmental promises into verifiable action. So the net zero race is on, and that's a great news for the planet. Europe is leading the way with regulation. Commitments all along the way are growing nation-wise, region-wise, city-wise, and company-wise. That said, net zero is a 3-step process, as you know. We do the carbon footprint, then you reduce, and then you remove the incompressible emissions. And that's where the problem is, and that's where we actually focus on. Carbon removal inertia. Right now, if you look at the studies, the inertia is due to 2 biggest challenges, which are the lack of trust, so a huge lack of trust with the lack of transparency, and the big complexity, so lack of standardization, plenty of players which are not interconnected. So if we look at it from a global perspective, there is a lack of objective and actionable data. So that's where we come to play, CARBONABLE, the co-pilot, to actually make carbon removal and biodiversity contribution both actionable and verifiable. So 2 elements. Streamlining the action with our eco-pilot suite, and providing data integrity with our technology that has been labeled deep tech. On the application front, so we provide a unified, seamless, and end-to-end carbon removal solution. So from funding the right projects to planning your supply of carbon removal assets to managing them to reporting them. So really like the co-pilot, the eco-pilot for companies to run their carbon contribution and biodiversity contribution smoothly and efficiently. More than this, we are the best shield against greenwashing. And how so? Because we've developed a deep tech, which is based on blockchain technology, which is open source and decentralized, and that actually is interoperable. So it generates proofs of integrity, both at the data level and at the action level. So if we look at it a bit from a bigger angle, we are the one who are standardizing, let's say, the data from carbon assets, providing end-to-end carbon removal operations. We facilitate the decision-making with business intelligence, and we provide ongoing audit-ready reporting. And so all of that powered by our deep tech technology. As you know, this market is growing and growing fast. I won't tell the numbers, but you know it's going to be like multiplied by plenty in the next few years. We are uniquely positioned here to play as the agent of trust. We are already working with actually several of those elements that you see here on the different angles of the value proposition, from the funding side, from the project dev side, from the certifier side, from the DMRV side, and from the citizen side. We have a business model which is based on percentage, both from the service perspective and also more so from the technology perspective. So the overall value managed through CARBONABLE.
Thank you, Guillaume, for CARBONABLE. You can go that way. Thank you very much. And last one for this course is York for Inverto Earth.
Which one do I press? This one? I think so. Okay. Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. We're from Inverto. We have the best shirts in town, and we help businesses to become nature positive by restoring coastlines, mainly mangroves. Tree planting got so easy, right? You click a button and these trees, they just rise, right? All the people here on their phone, you guys must be planting trees. It's great. What really frustrates me is we lack the connection to the ground. We don't really know what's going on. We don't know, is this tree growing? What about biodiversity? What about social impact? So what we offer at Inverto is nature units, so-called. That's a 3 by 3 meter parcel of land that is undergoing restoration, and we deliver data to you as a client who wants to plant or to restore in very granular way. And this is more than a tree, it's more than carbon, it's really about the ecosystem. The way we do this is we leverage technology on the one hand that we put into the hands of local people. That's really crucial. And the crucial part here is really the MRV component, where we look at not just looking at carbon, but really biodiversity, so collecting environmental DNA, acoustic data, camera traps, and feed all that into a dashboard that is handed over to the client so that they can use it, they can share it, put it into their ESG report. There's a notion of opportunities here. Nature positive contributions have been rising. There's a biodiversity credits market coming. You know that. Our business model is that a company such as HP that we're working with subscribes to a number of nature units per year. That allows us to distribute the technology and really funnel the money into the projects. 50 to 70% of the money goes to the ground, to the local people. These are the stewards. These are the really important people that take care of the environment and restore the areas. They deliver us the data that we then process and give back to our clients. The USP here really is that it's very holistic and data-backed. Also, what's interesting, it's very easy to share. This nature unit can be tied to a product or can be given as a gift to an employee. For our local partners, our solution is also interesting when it comes to scalable solutions, especially on the monitoring. We're currently a team of 4 people with more consultants helping us. And we've started our journey in 2022, been testing solutions together with other projects, and now we're doing our very own projects now in Indonesia together with local partners and actually some interesting corporate clients. And yeah, we're looking for more, so happy to connect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jörg. Thank you. You can stay with us because it's time for Q&A. Let's welcome the 3 other pitchers, Artenglück, MORFO, CARBONABLE, and Inverto Earth. Dear jury, it's your time. You can ask questions to our pitchers, and please make sure that each pitcher gets at least 1 question, please. Whenever you're ready, first question.
Okay. I have a question, Quentin. Hello. And all of you, amazing. Really, I understand the hard work. Just one thing. I mean, I'm always curious because we're so much in the verifiable, and you've 19 projects done. Do you already have results on like survival rate of the seeds that you dropped?
Yeah, so say the oldest project we have, sorry, is 1 year old. So the survival rate is, for the moment, it's not known yet. We planted 24 different species. We know that we have 17 species that grew. We have around 600 plants per hectare. So then we need to wait a bit more to have precise survival rate for. In labs, we know that we have 80%, but it is in labs, so not can be compared with what we have on the field.
So 600 pots per hectare you drop?
No, we drop more than 600 pots per hectare, but 600 trees grew per hectare. Yes, so it's a lot.
Good.
Yes, I think that's amazing because your presentation is so complementary. I think it was done on purpose, probably. So the question about what happens after you plant the trees or you drop the seeds, this is important and maybe something indeed to improve in your picture. I really loved the presentation of In the Virtual Earth. I think it ticks all the boxes. This is really amazing, a partnership with local people, broker role, bringing money where it's needed, helping with technology. I would have maybe one question is, have you looked also beyond the planting and the seeding at assisting natural regeneration?
Yeah, I mean, I think planting, like when you could do assisted natural regeneration, is the best, right? It's the cheapest, comes back naturally, it will be the most resilient, right? So I think it's always a matter of really looking closely at, okay, well, what is this ecosystem? What happened? Mangroves are especially complex, right? But I mean, that's the best solution. I think the second best is bringing in the local communities if they live there. If it's like a very remote area, then we also we have a bit of a drone background, so we bring that in when it makes sense, but only if it makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thanks everybody. Great presentations. I really liked Artenglück for one specific reason. I love the approach of going local to solve a global challenge. That is very, very nice to hear. One more practical question. I think I saw somewhere in the document that you were looking for 100,000 euros. What would you use that money for?
Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, we are a bootstrapped and already profitable company, and it was a hard way, but we are proud of it. And we would use the money to actually get even better in the biodiversity monitoring and also the reporting to make it even more transparent, and also to be able to use it for biodiversity or nature credits in the future, because we have the feeling that for the corporates, it's another reason and another certification to really not only do one biodiversity project, but in the long run to really, really get engaged. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Hi. Congratulations to all of you. Really, it's so impressive, and all your project. I mean, if I was an investor, I would be in. I'm really impressed by what you're doing, but the question was asked for Inverter. So I wanted, Quentin, to ask you, how are you working in complementary of the work field, of the people who are working from the field and not from above?
So me or Quentin?
Quentin, sorry.
Can you repeat? I thought it was for him.
How do you work in complementary from the people who are planting on the field?
We don't work directly with them. We work with NGOs. So the NGOs are in charge of doing the maintenance of the land, so at the end of the project. And before they prepare the land, they select the seeds, they collect the seeds, and they help us in the planting. We try to have, by project, 80% by drone and 20% by hand planting. The idea of doing that is that it's difficult to go further than 20% because of the nurseries problem, for example. But we try to go as far as we can with the planting by hands, and at the same time being able to answer to the scaling problem using the drones. So it's really the combination of the two.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for all your presentation. Maybe one question for CARBONABLE, Guillaume. How do you measure the viability of your carbon credits over time? And also, are you in charge of that task?
That's actually the core of what we're doing. Is when you think of it, like carbon removal market is a market with 20 type of actors completely disconnected, all of them pretty much. So what we've been creating is the layer of technology, which is blockchain. Like we built it on top of blockchain, which is interoperable by default, transparent, traceable. So the idea is like we capture the data from all the different steps from the carbon removal process. So from the project design to the funding, to the auditing, to the certification, audits, verifiable, so the DMRV, up to the accounting, up to the reporting. And all of this is captured through our like layer of trust, which is our database. And this provides then just like audit-ready data at any time. And so right now, as I was saying, we're already working with like all the different steps from the carbon removal market. We started heavily with the companies because they're the users at the end. So we started with them. We already built partnership with Orange, with Pierre Fabre, with like quite significant ones. And we're realizing that they're all facing this problem of having data to rely on first, and B, being like greenwashing protected, and three, being ready operationally speaking, because once you have invested in, let's say, 10 different projects, how do you unify all of this? You have one from MORFO, you have one from the other, etc. How do you unify all of this in one place? Right now, it's a shit show. We won't lie to you, like the companies, they're admitting it, and so that's what we were resolving.
Maybe one more question for you for CARBONABLE. So of the different types of stakeholders and players that need to sort of be part of the value chain for it to work, how smart do they need to be on the blockchain to use the product?
That's a very interesting question. Like the answer is nothing at all. Like we are the one taking charge of this. We are the one taking the complexity, building it. Like we've been working like 2 years deep in it. We've earned the deep label, like the deep tech label, like last November. So it's great. The idea is that on this, like this is our business, and then API calls, and we can connect with their data. And if they don't have API calls, we take like Excel sheets and whatnot. It's importing data.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting. And if you want to go deeper into the conversation, you will have the networking area just afterward. Thank you so much, and congratulations again on your very useful project. Let's continue with another round of pitches, 5 new ones. The next one is Dunya Analytics. Let's welcome Megan.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Megan Pillsbury. I am the founder and CEO of Dunya Analytics, and we provide science-based risk analytics for biodiversity and nature. So we've been hearing all about the biodiversity crisis, but how is that going to actually play out when it comes to impacting the economy? This nature risk, this biodiversity risk, is hidden deep within the economy, deep within business operations and their supply chains. We don't have visibility into that, but regulators and investors are increasingly understanding why that's important and starting to put pressure on corporations to measure and disclose nature-related financial risks. However, measuring it is very difficult today. The science and the data are very fragmented, and in order to interpret it, you need expertise in biodiversity. There's also no scalable risk methodologies to be able to screen for nature risks across a large, complex business. So at Dunya Analytics, we have a SaaS platform, enterprise software, that enables business leaders, sustainability managers, to measure nature risk at scale. We combine business operational data with the biodiversity data using our proprietary risk analytics to be able to measure risk across the business. They can use the outputs to do ESG reporting, but also to identify those important risks and opportunities to address nature risk and become nature positive. But most importantly, we conduct the risk analytics and provide the results in actionable financial terms. So a company can look at a $1 million risk and a $20 million risk and understand what the priorities are, which one they should address first, how much time, energy, and effort that they should put into addressing those risks. Nature risk analytics is an emerging market. It's small now, but growing quickly. Climate risk analytics went from virtually nothing to an expected $4 billion in about a decade. Nature risk is expected to be adopted more quickly because we have experience with climate risk. I am a seasoned founder. I have a technical background, and most recently I led business development for a climate risk analytics company that did just this, that measured climate risk in actionable financial terms. And we were acquired a couple of years ago by S&P Global. So now I'm looking to take what made us successful at that firm and bring it into nature risk. And I'm working with some amazing experts in biodiversity and indigenous knowledge, as well as technology leaders as well. So we have this strong combination of science, technology, and risk background. And we are currently fundraising. We do have a lead investor, so we're looking to close the round in April. And we're also looking for a few more pilot customers. So if you're looking to support us, please join us in illuminating the pathway to a sustainable and equitable economy. And I'm done.
Yes! Congratulations. Thank you, Megan. It's time for the second pitch. Let's welcome Karin from BESE Ecosystem Restoration Products. Enjoy.
Thank you. Good morning to you all. I will explain how you can restore coastal ecosystems with potato waste, but let's first introduce myself. You can see me on the picture on the left, at the age of 7, standing in a salt marsh in the Netherlands, fascinated by its dynamics, by its biodiversity. And in my lifetime, I learned that these systems are also very important to help us face the challenges of climate change. But on the other hand, we destroyed a lot of them, up to 50% for reefs, salt marshes, mangroves. So it's about time that we restore these important systems, but it's also hard because in these systems you have tides, you have currents, you have waves, and normally the plants and animals, the small ants and plant animals, are protected by their parents. But if the system is gone, the protection is gone, so a lot of restoration efforts fail. So temporary protection structures are vital to improve success. And a lot of the current solutions are not real solutions. They are adding to a problem, so they are made from concrete or plastic. So at BESE, we think it's time for a new era where we only use bio-based and biodegradable products for ecosystem restoration. And we have been doing this for the past years, for example, with our potato mat. So there's a sample there. It's made from the waste stream of Dutch chips industry. So the peels and the scraps are made into a structure that we put in coastal ecosystems, protecting plants and animals. But over time, like you see in this picture, nature takes over, so the structure can just be gone, so that in the end, only the natural system stays behind. And this is true for a lot of systems, so we have a lot of very important so-called ecosystem engineers that just need a temporary kickstart. So over the past 5 years, we have been doing this in over 10 ecosystems on 5 continents, increasing our efficiency of our techniques with a lot of R&D, but also we are very keen to collaborate with local communities, with scientists, with volunteers, because we think it's vital that the knowledge of these systems, but also of efficient restoration techniques, is increasing at a very fast pace. So my question today to all of you is, are you ready to join us in this challenge to restore coastal ecosystems around the globe with bio-based and biodegradable products only? That in the end, only the natural ecosystem is left behind. And thank you.
Thank you, Karin. Thank you for your pitch. You can join us later for the Q&A session. Let's welcome the third pitcher. It's Louis from Ubees. Let's discover Ubees.
Thank you. Wow. Good morning, everyone. My name is Louis. I'm the CEO of Ubees. Did you know that in Europe, we lost 80% of our pollinators? Pollinators are crucial because they're responsible for a third of every food we consume. And yet, we're facing a significant shortage of them, and especially with bees. In the world today, there are 100 million beehives, but by 2050, we will need 1 billion of them to ensure food security for the global population. So this is where Ubees comes in. We reintroduce beehives in locations where they were missing because of lack of biodiversity, and we train farmers to become the guardians of their local ecosystem. And this creates an amazing positive cycle where the bees enhance the crop yield and increase the farmer's living income thanks to beekeeping products. And in return, the farmers will preserve biodiversity by introducing cover crop or reducing chemical usage. So how does it work? We install beehives equipped with connected sensors, which allows us to monitor the health of the hives. And we train the farmers in any way we can. And we monitor the development of the biodiversity. This helped the farmer to reduce the mortality of bees, to increase the honey production, and overall to monitor the biodiversity of their land. Our promise is that in 90 days, we can transform a farmer into a sideline beekeeper. And Ubees has already started to make a difference. We have implemented 12 projects in 4 continents. We have managed to increase the crop yield by up to 60%. We have increased the farmer's living income by 30%, and we have decreased carbon emission by 10% per hectare. We have the chance to work already with amazing clients, such as Nespresso, Nestlé, Danone, among others. Please join us in repopulating bees worldwide and create a sustainable future for agriculture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you. Let's go for the fourth speech with Fabian. He's going to introduce us to DNAir.
Okay. We're in the middle of the biodiversity crisis, but we're navigating it blindfolded. At DNAir, we're developing the technology that helps us see. Hi, my name is Fabian Roger. I'm the founder of DNAir, and we're developing biodiversity monitoring solutions based on airborne environmental DNA. The problem is that biodiversity is declining, but that leads to increasing pressure on companies, both regulatory and from the society, and it should be like this. But the problem is also we don't have reliable data on biodiversity to show how we're doing, which means that we need a solution for biodiversity monitoring. Our solution is based on airborne environmental DNA. It's based on the fact that you can take traces of DNA from organisms from the air, analyze them in the laboratory, and identify the species they belong to. It's a cost-effective method because it analyzes DNA from organisms across the tree of life. It's comprehensive because every organism can be identified by its DNA, and it's accurate because every organism is uniquely defined by its DNA. Our vision is to scale this technology to become the primary ground truth biodiversity data source for the business world. How it works is that we do the full value chain. We have a proprietary sampling technology. That's at the booth over there. So if you want to come by, we explain you all about it. And then we have the laboratory, the data analysis, and the reporting. We have first traction. So we're looking at the biodiversity creditor market, who needs biodiversity MRV and baselining to show what they do for biodiversity, and we're in discussion with 2 providers for doing pilot studies. We also sell our equipment directly to research lab, and I'm happy to announce that we have the first 2 orders, not potential sales. But we're also, and this conference has shown it, a large interest from corporates who need solutions for biodiversity monitoring in their reporting. There's a large market opportunity. And in the competitive landscapes, there's other solutions, but airborne eDNA is the most comprehensive taxonomic solution that can be deployed on land. The team is tiny but mighty. combining scientific expertise with founder expertise and business expertise. And we have a challenging roadmap ahead of us where we're looking at raising capital so we can finance our pilot studies, which will hopefully take place later this year. So if you want to join in to support us grow this team and scale this technology to provide biodiversity monitoring solutions, come talk to me. I'll be more than happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabian. You can come back for the Q&A in just one pitch away. Last pitch on this topic. We're going to welcome Marga on her project More Trees Now. Let's welcome Marga.
Thank you. Hi, hello everyone. My name is Marga. If you just heard the ch in that, I think the English version is Marge or in the French Margot, so you can also call me that if that is better for you. I am from More Trees Now, and I want you to imagine a world where every tree gets a chance to thrive. More Trees Now is a grassroots movement to make tree planting faster, cheaper, and more enjoyable. We started in the Netherlands because of a great sense of urgency. Over the last 100 years, we've lost over 85% of our biodiversity, and the rest of Europe is not far behind. Globally, we are steering towards 3 degrees global warming, which are destroying the ecosystems we depend upon. And we found our solution in the ecological processes of nature itself, in its abundance, because every tree makes hundreds of saplings every single year. Most of these saplings do not survive. They wither, they are mowed down due to regular maintenance, or they grow in ecosystems where you're not supposed to have a lot of trees, like heaths or peat bogs. We rescue these saplings with thousands of partners, volunteers, foresters, and municipalities, and give them a second chance where they can thrive. We do this because the impacts are manifold. Everything is repurposed, nothing is wasted. So every sapling that we rescue is a net win for the climate, because they've already been storing 5 to 7 years worth of CO2. And if they would be shredding or dying, I should be clicking this, by the way. I completely forget my clicker. Because every sapling has already stored 5 to 7 years worth of CO2. And if they were wither or die, they would be re-released into the atmosphere. And now that you rescue and repurpose them, that CO2 remains stored. Not only that, it can continue to store CO2. Also, you make the places where you remove the saplings healthier because you create space for other species where it was previously monotonous, or a heath or a peat bog. And the new place where they end up will also become biodiversity-rich environments. So we try to create a win-win. So far, we started in 2020, we have rescued and transplanted over 2 million saplings. We've done this in collaboration with municipalities and foresters at over 1,000 locations. We've engaged communities by setting up over 200 tree hubs where these saplings are collected and redistributed, and helped over 10,000 planting locations and initiatives to free trees. We are currently expanding with pilots into Germany, the UK, Ireland, and hopefully after ChangeNOW, also here in France. So I want to invite you to come on this journey with me. We are a decentralized movement, and we have developed a tree planner with all the tools we need, so we have a fast setup momentum with communities to accelerate tree planting everywhere. I'm going to quickly go through these pictures because I completely forgot about them. We are a circular method because every
More trees now, but no more time now. Hopefully you'll have Q&A. Sure, you can just... Thank you very much. Yeah, let's welcome the other 4 pitchers for the Q&A session. Thank you for coming back. Dear jury, it's your time to shine. Please, some questions, at least 1 per person. Thank you. Who would like to begin? Let's
Sure.
go.
My first question would be for Luis from Ubees. Congratulations to all of you, really. It's amazing the projects that you are taking care of. I was wondering, you were speaking about 90 days training for the farmers. And I was wondering, how do you ensure that they are keeping on the relation with you on the long term, that they are keeping on working on the project?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. So the farmers you're talking about, they're based in Colombia, in Nigeria, in Ivory Coast. This is in Thailand as well. This is where we work with them. So we have a local team of beekeepers. So we provide the training with the beekeepers, and then we follow up with them. At various points in the year, at the extraction, we help the farmers with the extraction, but the farmers are responsible for their hives. So, and also what we do with our sensors, we have a way of monitoring the health of the hives. So from time to time, we tell them, hey, your hive has a problem. You should go and see if it needs to be treated or fed, or you need to check if the queen is all right. So we accompany them with that. You're welcome.
Thank you. I have a question for Marha, but before that, just building on what you've just said for Ubees, I had a quick question regarding the genetics of the bees. We know that actually the beekeeping is an industry and all the bees have been heavily genetically crossed and the wild bees are disappearing. So I was wondering if you're using also genetics to rewild the bee.
Yeah, so what we do is that we work only with native bees. So we don't import any bees from anywhere else but locally. That's the first thing. And second, the way we promote biodiversity is that it helps local bees and native bees all over. So it's a way of trying to help wild bees as well.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question is for Marha. Here you go, sorry. Yes, great initiative, really amazing. I heard you before. My question is, what do you need now? What do you need?
What we need is we're looking for NGO partners here in France who can help us expand here, but also grants to scale. Because, well, every euro that we have, we can plant several saplings in places. And other partners and people who have ideas to partner with us. I mean, we really see a role and a role for everybody, really.
And actually, sorry, I have another question for you. I'd be curious to know about the circular process that you were beginning
to. Yeah, so it's a circular process because every planting location in 10 years will also become a harvest location. Because when you plant the sapling, when it's matured, it will also start to produce saplings. And not all of those saplings can mature on that same location. There might not be enough space, or there are different ecosystems there that they are moving into that you don't want to have them. So therefore, it's continually regenerative.
Thank you.
Hi, I have a question for bees. Just one mere question. Who is paying for the project? The project is actually very interesting. And who is paying for it?
Yeah, so it's variable. We have governments, we have businesses, we have universities that are in restoration techniques, more or less. But most of it is really restoration that is failing. And then they have a project and they really want it to work. And then they pay for the products. And the products come with a whole package. Because we don't sell the products, we sell nature restoration. So we are also involved in scanning the site. But it's a variation of people who put in the money. Yeah.
Do you want to go? I have a follow-up question for that, but first of all, congratulations to all of you, especially because you're targeting the biodiversity angle, which I find super, super important. So I was actually really impressed by the variety of target organisms or ecosystems that you're targeting one product. At least in the pitch document that we were provided with, it looked like you have one mesh. Now you showed a little bit more of diversity, but my question was around that. How are you targeting specific organisms with different products, or is it packaged in one single sort of mesh product?
Yeah, we have 5 products now, and some of them are really based on biomimicry. So we look at the species, what they need, and then we translate it into a product. So for example, for European oyster, we have a substrate that is really the settlement queue for European oyster. But for other products, we sometimes just have a replacement of a plastic alternative that was already there, or we have the potato mat. We started out with reefs, so oyster mussel reefs, but then it turned out that it worked very well for salt marshes in Europe. But then people saw it outside of Europe, and they wanted to use it for mangroves, coral reefs, so we are just using it there. So it's we don't think it's one size fits all, but it has many opportunities, so to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe just a question for Dunya Analytics. Which type of customers are you primarily targeting for nature risk analytics?
Yes, our primary target customers are global corporations that are falling within the scope of TNFD-aligned reporting, if you're familiar with the TNFD framework. The global corporations have the biggest environmental footprint, but they also have the biggest risks to their supply chains and resources. And then there's a number of industries that are very heavily dependent, like agriculture, food and bev, but our initial customer set is more in like chemicals and manufacturing.
Thank you. Last question?
Okay, sorry. So, yeah, I had a question for Fabian on DNAir. First, congratulations. We really need tools to monitor biodiversity that are, effective, not too costly, and a wide spectrum. So that looks really promising. My question is about the place of engaging local people and how participatory the method is, because the risk, of course, is that it's kind of a big, broader approach, and you spoke of companies, but what about the local people?
Yes, that's true. We are too early to really be at the stage where we have a strategy to involving local people. We haven't deployed this anywhere yet. We're looking for pilots, if you're interested. I think the technology itself, because an auto-sampler, there's no place for the community on the site, but at a later stage, what we would like to do is to have the analysis of the samples with local laboratories, which is also necessary because there's regulatory requirements anyway that make shipping of DNA samples difficult across borders with the Nagoya Protocol. So I think it's really more the competence building and the collaboration with local university partners and local laboratories for the analysis of the sample in the long run.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your project, for your answers. Thank you for your questions. You'll have time to discuss later in the networking area. And for now, dear jury, you have an important mission, is to vote for your coup de cœur. What was your favorite project for biodiversity? And it's also the end of the session for us. Thank you for having been there, dear audience. We're going to begin another session in a couple of minutes about inclusion. See you in a bit.